sectors where, within the broader oil and gas sector, we have been exceptionally good and we have been structurally long. And how do you maintain that position going forward? And do we want to do that? Is the other theme which I think should be in our discussion. So with that, I would like to invite different panelists to share their perspectives. We have another 35 minutes or so. What I thought is I'll do this in three segments. Right? One is all around the business outlook and the strategies at the macro level on what they are seeing from a refinery standpoint. The second is all on the technology and the process side of things, what's happening. But equally important, I think the functional aspects, which is the third segment I want to come to, is the functional lens of investments, digitalization, and the people aspects, which many times we just overlook. Right? So that's the range of things I would like to cover through this session. So the first question I would like to address it to each of you, and if you can, starting from Mr. Khanna, if you can take turns and share your perspectives. See, the energy quadrilemma which we are actually facing, right, is naturally a primary focus for India, and this is faced with lots of dynamics. And that brings into question the relevance of fossil fuels, how fast we need to transition, and refining is actually just set in the center of this whole whirlwind in a way, right? So in this context, how are you seeing, the trends shape for the refineries? What's your outlook? What strategies are you as different leaders pursuing? Would be great to hear your perspectives.
Thank you, Sankash. First, let me compliment you for setting the context. Very insightful view. And very good afternoon, all. Let's start with 2 years back.
So, Khanna, 1 second. I think the mic is.
Audible?
Very good.
No, it's not.
Hello. Am I audible? Left side. So let me take my 2 years back post-COVID scenario. I think that was the first time when we started hearing about decarbonization and almost end of fossil fuel. The alternatives were not that Alternative were not that well matured, and it was considered to be the almost coming to an end. People used to say 5 year, 10 year, and we were seen in a big negative light. And then came 2020 come to on halt. But today, when I'm attending these type of forum, people are talking about rejuvenating E&P aspect of the business. And with hope, with that, I'm seeing a quite bright future for the oil industry.
So I think, our viewpoint is that, and I think it's already said in various forums that the segment is growing with this kind of, with a GDP growth rate of about 6% to 7%. I mean, obviously there is a challenge. There is going to energy consumption is going to maybe double in the next 2 decades as far as India is concerned. And I think in the various forums, which is even by the ministers, have also reiterated that fossil fuels are definitely going to stay for another 2 to 3 decades to sustain the kind of that we have in India, and to make to lead us to a $5 trillion and to $10 trillion and further so on, and 2047 when we are considering industry has obligation to meet these requirements of the nation. I mean, with the current growth rate, let's say, I mean, the crude processing capacity is expected to be 450 million tons, almost double of the capacity that is presently there by 2040. And even the gasoline and diesel demand, although I mean, there are some disruptions are there, but still, I mean, in a gasoline demand in a base case scenario is expected to be around 4% growth rate to 2%, when even with the some disruption because of the electrification in the railways for freight corridors and all. So I mean, I think the message is that the petroleum industry definitely has to grow in next 2 decades, just to meet the expectations of the people, the need of the country. But at the same time, I think the refinery has to do a balancing by kind of a integration with the biofuels, blending of ethanol, and even beyond.
Predict the future, but I think some basic facts are fairly obvious. First of all, that India will continue to require additional energy. I think that we all agree on this platform that it is coming from oil and gas, and maybe about 15% coming from coal and 10% coming from other sources. The future is more towards what we see is more towards electrification. I think Rajiv mentioned green hydrogen and biofuels and others. So I think the question is, what will eventually be available to service from the refinery? And I think that's what we are sort of really faced with. And given the global situation, we have seen that the margins can vary from negligible to really big numbers. Last 2-3 years, we've seen products like gas oil going almost at zero or very real low margins, and now trading at $35, $40, $45. So what you also see on the global stage is more variability. So given these set of circumstances, given this kind of context, most refineries are looking to do. They are adding maybe petrochemicals, but one very important strategy is to be flexible, to have invested in the ability to move from one product to another. And given that you are in India, perhaps you have a very strong economic case.
Of oxygen, but post green hydrogen movement, they realized there is a good potential to have hydrogen using the technology, and we have joined with them to try various indigenous material as an electrode so that operating costs and construction costs can go down. That is on the green hydrogen field. Parallelly, we know that in the long run, we will be having in the form of compressed biogas, and CCUs are the way of life, but they are the emerging technology. There is no ready solution available as of now, but we are looking for the various technology and various options which are available in the market, but we know that it will take next 3 to 5 years to reach to good level to say that yes, we have arrived. So that is our plan for scope 1 and 2. We have yet to start our journey for scope 3.
Great to hear your thoughts on that. Is Dr. Karan back with us? Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's working. So we'll keep moving ahead. So I just want to switch to, from the strategy, trends, and so on, more, the technology and the process side of things. So you started elaborating on the hydrogen side of things. Naturally, that's a great push that is being given worldwide as well as Agrawal, awards play. What's the pattern changing, and also a big later on
Yeah, I think these are very pertinent questions now because industry definitely has to gear up for transition, there's no doubt. And as Mr. Khanna also said, there are, sorry, there's some problem with the voice. So, I mean, we are basically as a, we are a consultant company, engineering company, so we are, considering that we are a government of India undertaking, so it is our obligation that we build up the capabilities so that the nation can go through this transition process. And we are doing a lot in this direction. As Mr. Khanna also said, that they are setting up a 20 megawatt green hydrogen plant that we are taking them, the consultant, and a lot of progress has been made in that. Another 10 megawatt green power project we are doing for wind. So, I mean, we have developed our own resources for executing these projects. We have also carried out a study for green hydrogen blending into the natural gas networks, because that is also one of the transition pathways that our natural gas networks need to be decarbonized, and blending of hydrogen in these networks is going to happen to that extent. So we are carrying out a study for GAIL, and where we have already recommended about 2 to 3% blending in the CGD network of one major city in North, and based on that blending has already started. Besides that, we are also working on, let us say, because when you blend hydrogen in large quantities, because slowly we are targeting from up to 20% blended hydrogen, associated issues and challenges of material of construction of the existing pipeline network. So we are carrying out a lot of testing with some renowned institutions so that we can find out that till what percentage of hydrogen can be blended into these natural gas networks safely without changing the material of construction, so that it doesn't really have a lot of require a lot of investment, and safely the hydrogen can be blended into these things. Besides that, we are also working on let us say the biofuels capabilities. We are already building up a 2G ethanol plant in the Maligarh. This is based on a Finland-based technology, and I think we have worked with the licensor, because this technology is basically directly from pilot stage to commercial stage, and EIL has worked with the licensor to commercialize this technology. So we have built up a lot of capacity. As I told you that we are also working on bio-APF technology, which is also going to be coming sooner mandate for APF technology. We have a tie-up with the IIT, and we
can see that back of scope 1, 2, 3. I think scope 3 is where the maximum issues arise. We are targeting scope 1, scope 2.
In that context, what patterns are you seeing in terms of investments to refinery expansions, petrochemical expansions? Petrochemical is probably a cleaner aspect, but at least for the refineries, which still need to be funded. India, for example, wants to double its refining capacity decade. So, what financing avenues are you seeing, and any other observations you have in that regard?
Mr. Chairman, if you permit me, I'd like to focus on the commercial aspects, since we've had excellent comments from the different panelists on the technical and carbon-related issues. We have an environment that in 2022 was one of the best years for the refining business. Everybody made a lot of money, and everybody hopes that year will be repeated again. 2023 is not going to be as good, because there is $2 million for the new capacity coming on stream, and there is also a lot of exports which is being seen from China. This panel is about Asia, not about India alone, so I'd like to add some perspectives to the international market to the comments that have already been made. It's in 2024 to 2030-32, the demand for oil will grow by 8 million barrels per day worldwide. And so there is going to be a huge amount of new capacity needed. Who is building new capacity? Actually, grassroots refinery, we don't see anybody. Lots of claims, but we don't see anybody building it. There is no big ones in Saudi Arabia, no big ones in Abu Dhabi, no big ones in Kuwait. In China, some petrochemical refineries are being built. But we are going to look at the golden age of refining in front of us from 2024 to 2032. Financing new refineries is almost going to be impossible, unless it is going to be done with the government guidance, the government help, because there is no 20-year horizon needed left to be able to finance a big project. So those which have existing refineries and those who are able to expand it, improve it, upgrade it, will face a very fantastic time in front of them. There will be great opportunities for making money, there are great opportunities for doing work inside individual countries, including India. The golden age of refining is coming back to us until it peaks in 2030. After it peaks, it's not going to collapse. There's going to be still a lot of room for refining business. The demand. But as far as refining is existing facilities, we'll have a great plan. And if you have anything in your hand and you can improve it, make it more efficient, then you will have a bigger impact.
Very interesting to hear that. So I just want to move into the last segment, which is the social segment, right? Now about 8 minutes. So I want to come from people and digital branding. I think people and is the most important, although we tend to bring it, especially the ONG conversations as one of the tech elements than what I've seen in the other industries. So recently, there was a global survey which actually asked the ONG industry, given all the things that are going on in terms of people wanting to be seen as green or sustainable and so on, what's your perspective? And the survey revealed that 40% of the people in oil and gas want to leave oil and gas industry in the next 5 years. Yeah. That's the metric that exists right now. And if you ask them, out of that 40%, 50% say that they're not wanting to leave the energy sector, they just want to shift focus from the carbon index areas to renewables. And there are a variety of reasons there. They just want to be secure of their jobs because they don't see investments coming into oil and gas. They want to be actually seen as someone who is socially responsible and so on. So I think there is a challenge which maybe all of you are feeling. I don't know to what extent it is being felt in the refining industry. It would be great to hear your perspectives. Maybe Anna, I want to see on that.
In fact, I'll give you the different perspective. Today we know that the only mantra for survival is that become cost effective. And we knew that our manpower was quite high. And when I look at last 5 years, I will say today I am operating the same refinery with almost half the number of people. Definitely we have outsourced to some extent, but when we look at our bottom line, it is quite encouraging, and that says, we have to work with the lean. In the long term, the refinery with the lean manpower, efficient manpower, and very, very digital savvy, we are going to survive. And with that premise, we are working forward to one. But coming to the point which you started with, whether people are really living and going, and do we see anything in light with the decarbonization? People are more lean towards renewable. Definitely we have not seen the clear trend. Post-COVID, we have seen that people started leaving, which was stopped for nearly 2 years. But a good number of people who are going for more for a further study rather than clear cut, where we can say that we have gone for the renewable field. So that is the observation of BPCL, and when I'm talking to other oil marketing companies, because this is the one point which we get to take feedback from other refiner, and that type of clear pattern is not visible so far.
Very interesting to hear that. Maybe just to give the other dimension, right? The digitalization, I'm sure it is impacting all people at various degrees of things. And they're all entrenched in bringing digitalization to the refineries as well. So, but you actually, when you compare digitalization, penetration in refinery to, let's say, consumer goods or telecom or media or financial services, see that becoming the mantra, and how do you bring it up to the level where other industries are benefiting from it?
I suspect that the refineries are lagging. Is at the moment, at least I don't immediately agree with that. Because I don't know, everybody is here in the refinery. We've been using something called optimization, a digital algorithm, which has been there for now, I don't know, decades, right? We've been using that, and we see the advantages. And then when you get to the physical side of the assets, you're using something called RTO or advanced process technology. So yes, on the data side, we started to incorporate it at the moment. But I think the oil industry has generally been on the favorite side of technology adoption, and we have adopted. So for HMEF, we are using both. We're using the physical RTOs, APCs, and things like that. And also, we're working on the statistical part of it, data part of it. Some of the equipment are already working on it, and I think give us another year or so, full refinery will be on.
Lovely. I see that the time is up. It's been a great session to with all the perspectives. There have been a range of takeaways, including the refining industry being very relevant for the medium to long term as well. We can double down on it, especially from a nature perspective. Equally, transfer context on this, we need to actually just switch gears and see what we can do. Absorb all the other types of fuel into our basket. Third is, I see that there is a lot of excitement about actually driving the scope one and decarbonization levers with get momentum, and equally it's good to hear that there is already a strong catch-up and refineries themselves are being examples on digitalization. Very happy to hear all these perspectives, and thank you, Dr. for connecting virtually, and all of you being in person as being an inspirational session. And thank you everyone for joining us right afterwards. It's always hard to pick up and take a Thank you.
Thank you.